Good day, my lovely chatters. If you do not know me, I'm Husky, or more commonly known now as Moon. Welcome to the chaos of the internet. This podcast is addressing the internet as a whole and the positives and negatives of it. Addressing my content creation, my experience, content creation as a whole, to the impact of COVID on the internet, to the positives and negatives we see on a daily basis just on the internet. During this podcast, I will be expressing my own opinion, my viewers' opinions based off of questions I've asked them, having guests on to talk about and discuss different topics and research. In this lovely first episode of this podcast, today we are mainly discussing these topics with Brooks and Sivak. They are doing this at separate times during this, and so we'll go over it with Brooks first, and then we'll ask the same questions to Sivak, and you can really see the difference between opinions. So, what is your opinion on the internet?
It's an interesting place. My opinion is it's a good place. It's got positives and negatives, but overall it's a very good environment. Yeah, there's times where people are just being attention seekers or just taking you down or just being annoying, but it's a pretty good place overall.
Yeah, and in my opinion on the internet, it just depends on how you're interpreting it and what you're using the internet for. I mean, it can be a great escape from reality and just a calm place that isn't, it's a way to get away from the negatives of the world. But at the same time, it can also be a negative place itself. And especially with like social media, cyberbullying, and all these other things, it's a dangerous but also in the same way a safe place, and it just depends on how you're using it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't really know how to use it. Well, they do, but they don't. Um, for for instance, a lot of people use it to avoid reality, get things off their chest, stuff like that, and just have a good time. And some people are idiots and do it for their own, like, scam people or to make them feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the viewer responses for why they are on the internet, it's mostly to escape reality or to entertain other people, to get away from the real world, or just to have a way of to escape, I guess, is a distraction for most people.
Yeah, for myself, it's a distraction to, get away and stuff from home life, school. But sometimes it's better to not use the internet and, go outside and interact. But some people can't do that,
Yeah,
which,
and especially when COVID hit.
yeah, when COVID hit, it was very important to use the internet because, you did classes and whatnot. Like, I would, my sixth and seventh grade year, well, half my sixth grade and my seventh grade year, we used full online because of COVID. And don't get me wrong, it was nice and all, but the social aspect, like actual social aspect, wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, especially for like us, because like yours was sixth grade year, mine was seventh grade when COVID hit. And I mean, for me, like, I feel like it affected everybody just a tiny bit differently because some kids adapted to the online atmosphere and online learning very quickly, where like those people like me who are more visual and adapters and work better to a face-to-face contact kind of thing, that we all kind of just flailed and drowned within this
Yeah,
online atmosphere.
I enjoyed the online atmosphere. It just a little bit more, only because I'm not a social person, like face to face kind of person. But it also threw off like my sense of reality in a way because I would wake up 5 minutes before class and just sit in bed and just lay there and listen and do my classes. But that also ended up making me fall behind and whatnot.
Yeah, and I think another thing that COVID did when it switched, like, classes to online, it kind of hit this, like, burnout for actual in person classes. Like, we all got used to being able to sleep in and, work at our own pace. And now that we're back into this in person contact where we are not working at our own paces, we have deadlines, we have quizzes and things to take right in front of us because there was a lot of trust, given.
Yeah, with me being my junior year now, there's a lot of deadlines and you gotta like pace yourself out. You can't just leave it off till the last minute and do it at your own pace. You gotta find a way to get it done and not wait.
Yeah, and I mean for me it's struggling because there's like a lot of time management now. And there's a lot of us who can't really do time management without the assistance of someone else keeping us on track.
Yeah, like teachers don't try to make you do it your own way, but you can't. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I it was difficult to understand, and it was something for every teacher to also adapt to, also at the same time with no preparation or warning.
Yeah, totally. It was difficult on everyone, but then you had the internet where it made us still be able to go to school somewhat, but it was still difficult for a lot of people.
Definitely. I mean, for me, like it came to the realization that like it's the type of learning because like there's some online learning I can do really great, and that's work on your own pace kind of online learning. um I'm sure if kids from my school are watching this in other schools that use this program, Amentum, which is an online program that gives you notes you can take, but you're testing based on the knowledge you already have, what you have already mastered. Like, it's a very work at your own pace, but you're still learning everything you need to with a set deadline. So I really like Amentum, but like turning like a actual in-person class into an online class became a
Yeah.
very big struggle for me.
Yeah, to put everything and go back to in learn it like in person learning was very difficult only because like I didn't know how to interact. I didn't know how to like I was so not used to being able to talk to my friends and stuff to the point where I'd go to class and I'm supposed to be working and it would just I wouldn't get things done.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely missed out on the social atmosphere. And I think, I mean, like for me and you, we were at a critical, like, development stage because, middle of middle school is usually the time where you're really developing.
Yeah. It's also where grades kind of count the most if you're going to a private school where you have to apply, which in my case, I did. And COVID online stuff kind of screwed it up because I went back to in person and I was almost failing every class. I was a straight C student.
And that's kind of what I'm at right now. Like, just like getting back into that groove. And now just myself experiencing a lot of health issues. It's like hard because now it's expected that we be in person after spending all this time online.
Yeah.
Except at the same time, everybody's kind of moved everything online anyway, just in an in person setting.
Yeah, it's still like 50-50 still. Like there's still paper things, but then there's stuff online. So there's an in between. It's not one set thing.
Yeah, well, for like my school, it's mostly all just online now. Yeah, we have the paper things, but usually those are just readings or just some sort of project. There's no actual like just assignment on paper. It's all online. which I think makes that the more difficult struggle for me. But like at the same time, like I need stuff online for when I'm sick and I need to get things done because now there's an atmosphere where we're expected to get work done even though we're sick.
We're homesick, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we have online things, but then some of the stuff is paper. And yeah, everything's posted online onto our like my Google Classrooms and stuff. So I was out Friday and some of Thursday because I was sick, and I'm expected to go back on my own time while trying to recover and to do work that I don't really know how to do because I wasn't in school. But yet there's still a set deadline. But I
I'm in
don't.
that boat too. I have probably a heavier absence track right now than in present track, but like it's stuff that like I'm not really much in control of. It's
Yeah,
and the thing is like a lot of us are still blamed for it and like nowadays like attendance is a lot more strict than it was back then.
yeah. My attendance policy is you get 9 days excused by a parent, and then you have to be excused by a doctor.
Yeah, mine's 10 excused by parent and then everything else is by doctor, but like you're allowed like 10 days that are unexcused before it goes against you, but that's per semester.
Oh yeah, and mine is for the whole year.
Yeah, mine's per semester. Um at least based off of our handbook, that's what it says. And then there's also like the different like atmosphere of like just social media and like in school and things like that, like cuz you know, we experience like an increasing like shooting lockdown threats.
Yeah, like we in my school the other day, they or a few weeks ago, they found bullets in the hallway. They put us in a soft lockdown, but we didn't know what was going on because we didn't have our phones. We couldn't look at our emails or anything because we were in class. It was interesting.
Yeah, I mean like there's soft lockdowns, which are like your medical emergencies and things like that, and even then that will start rumors around a school really fast. And then you also have like just kids trying to get out or attack other school districts because they think it's funny. And you know, just like sending threats to all these schools and making parents and students scared.
Yeah,
I mean, like, and like my perspective of school, like, you know, like some kids in my school in grade can agree, like we had a kid pepper spray a whole entire classroom one year.
what?
Yes, that happened my eighth grade year. A kid sprayed pepper spray on a desk and pepper sprayed almost every eighth grade teacher and every student in that room,
Jesus.
which obviously had a lot of medical repercussions, especially because there are asthmatic kids
Yeah.
like myself, and so it caused major issues for a lot of students. And that now has a ban on one key self defense item for us, and that's pepper spray. And, you know, we're not allowed sharps or anything like that,
Yeah,
too,
no.
so it really, like, we start lowering that bar and it gets a little dangerous too for
Yeah.
especially for those of the students population that don't just stay in the school but go to internships and go to the trade school, because like my school has the trade school separately
Oh yeah.
and they have to go by bus or car there. And so like just like those like small things, because like the world's cruel, the internet's cruel. The people act like the internet is worse than what we do in, you know, real life, but in the same time they're almost equals.
Yeah, it's equal.
If anything, the internet is more mental, and in real life, you know, it's more just actual physical and mental. They both have their sides.
Yeah, it's different.
I mean, like we can look at like, you know, popular content creators and stuff, and all we really see right now is just drama, hate, canceling is a very big term right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, for us, like, smaller content creators, it's like, how do we not follow the same
Pattern.
track? Yeah. And, like, because obviously we want our communities to remain safe, and it's, there are people who are attention seeking or don't know better, and we have to find a way to navigate that without coming off incredibly rude.
Yeah.
And obviously, there are other parts to the internet that are more predatory
Mm-hmm.
that we still have to watch out for. And so it's like, as a content creator, you're accepting a job the moment you start and you start building your community, especially when you have a community behind you. Because now you're looking at, I have all these people. I don't know what all their ages are, but I have to assume they can be any age. They can
Yeah.
be anyone. And you still have to protect that basis. And I've had, within our community, Brooks, I've had arguments
Mm-hmm.
in fact of protecting, my own mental health and my community's mental health and the communities that watch our platform's mental health when it came to a very gray area within our community, which is why
Yeah.
I like the fact that we have the suggestions and that people will come together to fix something. Um,
Yeah, it's nice.
but yeah, and that's a key part of mental health too, is keeping all that in check while also still, trying not to affect your community. I
Yeah, you
know,
gotta look out for so many people. It's kind of
yeah,
crazy.
and like me and you, we have a very similar community because,
Mm-hmm.
I handed off a lot of my people to you.
Yeah. A lot, yeah.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not. It's just
But
meaning
it's
you got.
still, we're within the same walls when it comes to the people we have. And like, I say this to my viewers, like, some of my content, it's like 16 plus kind of range. But like, if you're gonna, there's no way for me to stop you as like a 14-year-old to lie about your age and
Yeah.
create an account and watch my content. I can't stop that. And I have to keep that in mind too when we do stuff, because as much as we can put these labels on, it doesn't prevent someone from watching said material.
Yeah.
And
Just why
that's,
you gotta be different. Yeah. I can't talk.
yeah. And so it's just because we've seen like all these different things, and it's like there's a lot of community building that has to go behind everything you do, and like every action you do has to have a lot behind it, because in order to create a safe environment for our viewers and create that distraction, that safe place, we have to watch ourselves. And if we are doing something very serious, we need to put labels with it, which is where like content warnings and viewer discretion advised and all those things come very key parts. Because again, we can't stop anyone from doing anything, because the internet's just a mask.
Yeah, it's a total mess at times.
And that's why I think some people try to get away with like school threats and things like that, because they have that full belief they have this mask,
Yeah,
and
but
that
they
they
don't.
they don't. And there's a lot behind the internet that like exposes our privacy and our Fourth Amendment and things like that. But like, I feel like when we are on the internet, we kind of give up some of that, just because there is no like barrier. There are no laws made around the internet really.
Yeah, there's not really no.
And I don't think anyone like in our past would think that like this would be the future. They're all thinking
No.
flying cars and floating screens kind of stuff. Now we're here with everyone. Everyone nowadays practically has some digital device. Um,
Yeah.
with one of my articles that I've been reading, Impacts of the Internet on Modern Society by Matthew Gracias, or it's a very complicated name, but I can't pronounce, so I apologize for mispronouncing it. But about where is it? 65.6% of the entire world population has internet access, which at the same time I think that number has increased since the writing of this article, because most of like all your restaurants have free Wi-Fi access, cafes have free Wi-Fi access. It's more just, do you have the device?
Yeah, or the powerful enough internet to handle everything.
Well, it's not even that. It's just having the device. Because again, there's plenty of places that have free access, and with COVID, internet providers started adding like areas around certain towns to have free internet access so that students could do the work that didn't have access to internet. So I'm sure that percent is a lot bigger than what it is now, and it's pretty common for almost everyone to have a device or have some access to a internet capable machine. I mean, you see like people like Mr. Beast and all of them stuff, and they're going around giving electricity and stuff, and it's only a matter of time before that number keeps growing and growing and growing and growing,
Yeah, it's always going to
which
be growing.
makes which makes the need for more laws and privacy updates and all these like things, they need to be added at some point, as much as people don't want you know things limited. But at the same time, again, it's a mask. No one Someone could lie about their identity in a heartbeat. Like, I'm
Yeah,
fine.
they can.
This escape from reality is a true escape from reality.
Yeah, they can always lie about anything.
Well, it's not even that, but like, people say it's escape from reality. It's literally them not being themselves. And I think we get that coming from a community that does roleplay, where
Yeah,
our escape is being our characters.
yeah, enacting not how we would.
Exactly, we're being someone we're not. But at the same time, in the part of our brain and technicality, it is something we want to do. We're just unable to do it.
Yeah.
All right, Civic, what's your opinion on the internet?
I mean, there's goods and bads to it at the end of the day. I mean, it depends on the context of how it's being used and everything as well. I mean, it's great because you can find knowledge and find out a lot of news about a lot of separate things. Um, like major weather disasters like Hurricane Helen, I think was just this previous one, right?
Yeah, about yep. Helen was the previous or most recent.
And then, talking about other hurricanes, talking about how people are doing. I mean, I just got something earlier today about how it's like 100 people dead and almost 600 something missing. I think the number is right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I've heard so far that there might be another hurricane that's already starting to brew up.
Procure and everything.
Yeah.
But how'd you hear about that though? Did you hear about that through the internet or through people?
Uh, well, YouTube people, yeah,
So the internet,
meteorologists, yeah,
right? So I mean, the internet, at the end of the day, it's good and bad, right? Because you're always gonna have the goods and bads of everything. You
mm-hmm.
know, there's always gonna be a positive and a negative. That's the way I've always looked at everything. It's great that I can do something, but then there's gonna be a negative behind it later down the road. You know,
Yeah,
um, but there's a lot of pros to it. Like like I said, the biggest pro I think of the internet so far within the last, I would say 5 to 10 years, probably was the fact of we actually had it around during the whole COVID thing, right? When
yeah,
when COVID first started, because when COVID first started, I mean, hell, we were all locked up in our homes,
yeah, isolated.
and how would you be able to interact with people?
Mm-hmm.
Curveball, you couldn't because you couldn't go outside.
Yeah.
You know, so
You know what was kind of about the whole beginning part of the pandemic was instead of just hiding, I just went to college parties the entire time.
yeah, you know, but there's a lot of people that did that though.
Yeah.
They didn't believe that they didn't
Well,
believe
I
the thing was real, and or people were dumb. Not
Yeah.
saying
I
that you were dumb,
believed
Snyder,
it, but hear me out. We were in Minneapolis during the George Floyd incident, so we weren't really focused on COVID.
Yeah.
yeah, you guys had a lot of other stuff going on though at that
Yeah,
time.
we had a yeah. It was crazy out there, bro.
Which don't even get me started with the Floyd incident and the internet, dude. Because holy shite,
Mm,
Yeah.
that's not a swear word. I can say that, right? Yeah. No, you're not. It's not your bad. You
Oh
took
clearly,
my-
I
every
haven't.
second to say that, didn't you?
You're welcome to
Yeah.
join the discussion.
All right, what are we discussing about? My apologies.
The internet, the internet, and how it's good and bad.
Are
Or
we,
like,
about-
what's your personal opinion of the internet? I guess.
are we taking this from the top?
Yeah, who's going first?
I mean, I already said my stuff, so I mean, it's just your turn now. I mean, Snyder, what do you think about the whole thing?
The whole thing about the internet?
Yeah.
It's the future of how we get information, brother. Yeah, it's kind of sketch, but that's why you have to do multiple. You have to independent research your shit. You don't
Yeah,
just rely on one news because they're all leaning left or right, center. They all have an agenda.
Yeah.
It's not a true journalism because true journalism is just giving out the incident, the facts, no, no thoughts about it.
And that's why, like, I feel like TikTok is, like, you know how, like, that whole TikTok ban stuff was going around and, like, political schemes. I mean, there's also a lot of, like, fake news that also gets spread by TikTok, and it's like...
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, but it's like kind of Snyder said though. There's goods and bads to it, right? I mean,
Yeah, there's good and bad.
you know, here's a perfect example of the bads, and this is talking from like the gamer side, and to you who are, I mean, the three of us know because we're in our little gaming group and everything.
Mhm.
The amount of time someone's been hacked because someone's just trying to get information from people
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
the wrong way, you know.
I mean, like, not even, like, the wrong way, just, like, even, like, link grabbers and things like that.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
you gotta
that.
be careful out there.
I mean, like there's
And
Yeah,
now
there's
we
a bad
cut
to
to an ad break. This video is sponsored by NordVPN.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
Dude, that'd be hilarious, huh? Just a NordVPN sponsor.
Oh god.
Not
or
sponsored!
Element. Element's the new one, right? The sports drink, whatever.
Oh, yeah, it is. I've seen that one around a lot now. But I mean, like, in the terms of the internet being a positive, it is a positive for businesses too in that scheme. Of
Oh,
being
yeah,
able
easily.
to, and I like again,
mean,
like
shoot.
everything's got the positives and negatives to it.
Right. I mean, but like there's some other big things to it too, right? Because think of it this way, you know, some of these companies are now making millions of billions of dollars now because just of the internet, and they're running their business off of that. Like the what was the new thing with like Amazon, where it was like you bought items, then you could resell on Amazon and everything. You know what I'm on about?
I don't.
I don't actually. I've heard reselling.
I don't know. It was some business model or something that's becoming bigger and bigger of a thing. Because like it's generating new markets for product and everything, and people don't tend to think about that.
Yeah, I mean, thinking of product, I mean, there is the new Twitter or no X drama of just the Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul's like Primely, like going against Lunchables, and a bunch of
Oh,
controversy.
don't even get me start. Don't even get me started with the X stuff, because the amount of drama I see on Twitter or X, whatever you call it.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever.
old. I call it Twitter.
I call it Twitter too. I'm like, I prefer Twitter.
You're not old though. Anywho,
I know.
you know, but like the whole Twitter thing with just causing drama left, right, and center. Like I have a Twitter account, right? But I don't ever use it, or if I do use it, I'm using it just to talk about the channel or what's going on. You know, I don't really share my personal life on there.
Yeah,
I have
mean,
other means of doing that.
I have a Twitter account. Haven't ever posted. I mainly just keep up with like game updates on Twitter.
Well, again, and, you know, that's a positive of the internet. You know, there's a lot of people use that for ad revenue as well as promoting their products.
On the
So to all
negative
the
side,
entrepreneurs that are going to be listening to this, use the internet. It helps you. You just have to use it the right way and don't get hacked or don't get your money stolen.
don't be blinded by greed. Wrong G word.
Well,
Yes.
greed either. Or grief
That too.
either.
That too.
I mean, like, I guess here's another positive of it too, right? Is like the communication now for just anyone, having to be talking to family, long distance relationship partners, whatever, right? That has raised. Like, I feel like long distance relationships are starting to become more and more of a thing now, just because of the internet and everything. I don't know what you guys
Yeah.
think about that, but
No, I agree.
at least I don't know if you've noticed it.
I think
I
that's
definitely have.
something-
I've seen it a lot, but
I mean, if you're on the internet a lot more often, then yes. But like, I feel like it's kind of been a growing thing, especially with like dating apps too, like being thrown in the game, which is a whole nother ball game by itself. But like, long distance relationships, like, you know, back then it used to, you know, be a lot more rare kind of thing. Now it's more of a common thing, and I don't think many people have realized that.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, the dating apps have gone on before. Before it was just Tinder. Now it's like you got Bumble, you have Let's Chat, you have like so many other ones now. I swear,
Yeah.
God darn it, so many freaking other ones. There, put that in there.
Yeah.
I mean, Snyder, have you seen that a lot too, though? Like, there's a lot more dating platforms and hackable shit, and
What about you hacking into dating apps?
I don't hack in the dating apps.
I'm sorry, bro. I've been taking a nap. I've been kind
I
of
can
in and out of
tell.
this conversation.
Shoot! Oh, now you're making me tired. Look
Oh,
what you
no.
did.
Oh
Gotta
no.
take the midday nap.
The guests are
But-
falling asleep.
But you know, actually, that brings up a good point, though. The internet actually helps save a lot of funny moments, though, with people. I feel like too, right? Because I gotta
Yeah.
tell this personally. I have a crap ton of just video clips of my voice somewhere on the internet.
Oh yeah. There's actually one in my Discord, or Mary's Discord actually.
Well, right, like they're all over the place, you
Yeah.
know. And it's like, you know, but it's also sharing the funny moments, and it's helping people. I feel like become better involved within, just around the world, you know, because you see all these funny moments, like, oh, dude, that'd be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could do something like that, you know. And like, there's so many different things you can do with it,
Mm-hmm.
like both good and bad, you know. And the internet's not done yet. People think that, oh, the internet's still done now. There's no way. No, it's still growing. That
Oh,
thing
yeah.
hasn't stopped growing since the internet's
I
became a
think-
thing.
I think one of the more recent things I've noticed with the internet is the culture sharing, like just sharing of cultures. Don't let the crickets kill you, Jesus.
No, sorry, I got a text in a group chat
Let's fall
about
asleep.
the internet and how Verizon is messed up and how nothing's working and everything's broke.
I mean, I think Hurricane Helen did a number on a lot of things.
I did
Yeah, it
remember a
did.
lot of things.
Yeah.
I said though, there's always going to be pros and cons to the internet, right? Like, I know there's a lot of people who are involved in the hurricane, both in like from the responder side as well as from the other side of it,
Oh
from
yeah.
like the civilian side of it, that have just used the internet to keep up with people that are involved within this natural disaster, we'll call it, because that's basically what it is.
It is a natural disaster. There is no other definition of it.
Well, okay, look. You have to remember, my definition of natural disaster could be a lot different compared to the civilian life, because, you know, Jobtown brothers, go get them.
But I
Okay.
still think the entire town flooding, let alone a couple states,
Yeah.
natural disaster.
Give or take a few states, you know.
Give or take a few, you know, yeah.
I mean, heck,
No one likes Florida anyway. No, I'm joking. I'm
They
joking for
weren't
legal
like they were
reasons.
flying people out with Coast Guard helicopters.
we're
The
reaching new
coasties.
they're reaching new territories. But no, thinking about that, like also going like that storm got all the way up, like it was sitting in like southern Indiana when it finally like died. At least the core of it.
Yeah, it went
So-
up pretty far.
I mean, knowing that this is a school project and probably at least one person from my school is watching this, homecoming. homecoming, we had to sit through post-tropical Helen.
Well,
What
and
a-
you know what? Here's the funny thing is that, so on Saturday when Helen hit you guys up in Indiana, I'm in Michigan for context here. I got a little bit of rain on Saturday night when I was working a football game. Roughing a football game, I should clarify. But other than that, that's all I really had. And here's the best part, and Moon could attest to this in a sense. Literally, I was working with her basically all freaking night, Friday night to Saturday-ish morning, trying to figure out the weather situation. And without the internet, I wouldn't be able to know. And a lot of people don't forget that, internet is really also what helps drive the weather system.
If
Like
we're
the National Weather Service and everything.
Yeah. And if we want to go into like more detail into that conversation point by itself, it's that like I wouldn't know how to read the maps the National Weather Service provides if it wasn't for the internet and self-educating myself on it. I feel like we've all learned something from we've all had that moment where we've looked up a YouTube video of like how to.
Oh yeah, I've done that so many freaking times. It's not even funny.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I've in a few years ago, like one of the most searched videos was like how to tie a tie. How will those people know how to tie a tie?
Is it really thundering outside my house right now when it's 77 degrees out?
Hey, anything
How does
can
that make
happen.
sense?
Welcome to the Midwest.
It was raining
I
a
know,
little
tell
bit
me about
earlier
it.
today. And I don't know exactly how
Oh yeah, it looks like it's
west
gonna
I
rain.
am of you, but
It's the weather.
The internet also, it has some cute moments too, right? And I say that because I'm not much of a TikToker, but I'll use like Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels and whatever. And like, there's certain things that kind of touch my heart. Animals, especially dogs.
All the distracting puppy videos.
But I can't help it. Okay, I like dogs. I'm a turkey. What? Leave me
I am going
alone.
to have so much fun editing this later.
No, you'll be okay.
Hi,
You
buddy.
got
It's
this.
turkey season
You gotta
soon.
include the bloopers.
Oh my god.
It's turkey season soon.
Ma, get the gun! I see a turkey.
I see one of them some bitches. We got Thanksgiving.
Just a whole pack of fucking turkeys crossing the road. Ma, the pack of turkeys crossing the road.
Have
Yes,
we
sir.
have we seen the TikTok with the turkey attacking a police officer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
333. That's actually in my state. That was like, dude, that was like, I don't know, about 100 miles to the
So I hope you
southeast.
realize your bloopers will be included within this podcast, right? I want to make
Yes,
this very clear.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go explore some of these negatives, shall we?
Well, we already did a
That's-
couple of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess another negative is, and I've seen this a lot, is there's a lot more like cybercrime stuff now too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Cybercrime.
scamming old people was what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well, like there's a lot
But-
more scammers just in general out there. That's not just including internet though. That's including cell phone conversation. That includes so much. It's not even funny.
Yeah. No, it is exponentially growing. And I mean, at the same time, you also have more and more people, like, getting into, like, turning it against them. I don't know if anyone's, like, seen, like, the YouTube videos of, like, destroying a scam call center kind of thing. Maybe I'm just the
I've
one.
not.
I guess
haven't seen that.
I'm just the weird one on the internet. Got it.
No, you know what? This is an interesting question. How do you feel that the internet changed the education system, especially I know Sivak
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness, dude.
could because
I
back
can
in the
attest to
day,
that on so many
yeah,
different
Yeah.
levels.
we didn't have that
I
much
can attest to it now.
internet, but
Yeah.
Well,
No.
like it's changed the way schools have just handled everything. Honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm elaborating that in a later episode of how COVID as a whole affected.
oh yeah,
Well, it infected and
Oh.
affected.
and infected
Well,
and
it
affected.
and affected the damn thing. So I mean,
Yeah.
and me and Snyder could easily go on a 7-hour rant about the positive and negatives of that, including the education system.
I mean, for you guys saw a whole different thing. For me, I was in the thick of middle school when COVID hit. So like
So-
now,
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was just graduating high school when COVID first hit. Like that was my graduation year when it hit.
I was essentially freshman in college.
Yeah, God, that makes me feel young now because Snyder's older than me.
I
Hmm.
was a baby middle schooler, living my
I was
best
a baby
life.
middle schooler. There
You know
it is.
what?
I was
I'd
a
actually have
baby.
to fix that. It's my second year at college. I'm sorry.
Oh,
That makes me feel older now, Snyder. Fa.
Sorry, buddy.
I just said fa, by the way, for the record. That wasn't a certain word that you're not allowed to use in schools. I'm just saying.
anyway, so yeah, no, COVID, great. I mean,
COVID's
don't
great.
think
I
the
don't.
internet
I
at this. I don't think the internet would be at the point it is without COVID. I think it would have been a lot
Oh,
more
not at all.
slower progression.
I mean, shoot, the internet has made it to where jobs are a lot more remote now too. Because
Mhm.
there's a lot of jobs now that before you had to go in the office for. Now you don't even have to anymore.
I
'Cause
know.
you can
I
just work
mean,
from
me
home.
for like applying for college, like one of the things I have to do on my applications is select whether I want to be in person or online.
Well, see, and that's a crazy thing though, right? Because before you would just go into class but bring a laptop with you,
Yeah.
or a like either a laptop or a tablet with a keyboard or something. You know,
Mhm.
obviously you still have paper and stuff, but I mean, you would bring a computer with you. Now it's just like, oh, guess what? I can join the Zoom call, go to college, and now troll my entire college class
Yeah.
and my college professor because I'm on the internet.
Mhm. I mean, again, we've seen like weird TikToks where people are doing some crazy. All right. From here on out, the conversation derailed very heavily, and we got nowhere on topic and started on a rant about something else completely. So, with this being recorded by me, scuff is expected. So, I appreciate you all watching this lovely first episode of the Chaos Podcast. I hope to bring you more, and I will see you all in the next time. Oh, and enjoy the bloopers. There's a lot. Alright, good night.
It's gonna be the most scuffed video.
Agreed. Man, that is the longest I've ever seen someone go get water.
Yeah, really. This.
I'm trying to think words here.
Choptown.
I'm gonna have to beep so many things. Thanks, guys.
Wait, are we recording?
Yes!
Yeah, like this is for her class. Snyder, where have you been? Like, come on.
Oh man.
Don't know how to do that.
Someone get the Jeopardy music.
Well, like, I already have the
All right, we're
Oh,
ending.
just
Bye
give me a second
bye.
then.